here. I am somewhat of a kindred spirit, although I have different songs to sing. I've got 3 songs, particularly, that I would like to at least introduce you to tonight, and I hope maybe get you to hum along at some point. My 3 songs are Institution of a Public School Tuition. I'm a bit of a canary in that coal mine. I hope I come out alive. The second is Deregulation of Healthcare, and the third is something called Proportional Representation. On the first, we need to get parents invested in their children's education. Good things will happen. Ask a teacher. And to that end, I have a very specific proposal on my website which calls for reducing the state sales tax by 1 cent and making up that much money by beginning to charge a means-tested tuition for education based on a parent's ability to pay. And on my second point, healthcare deregulation. We need to deregulate healthcare and deregulate healthcare and deregulate healthcare until Missouri is the mecca for people who are looking for a place to get or provide healthcare. The most free marketplace in America for healthcare. The easiest place to find my website, by the way, is at the Missouri Libertarian Party website. I'm on their list of candidates. And while you're there, check out something called the Oklahoma Surgery Center. It's just fascinating. This guy understands free market medicine. And we need to make Missouri the kind of place that attracts people like that. I mean, he's got reverse medical tourism going on. Instead of people leaving the United States to get their health care done cheaply, he's got people coming to Oklahoma to get health care. He posts his prices online for surgical procedures, and they're low. On to my third song, which is Proportional Representation. I ask you, how would you design a system for electing our representatives? It's not that difficult. It's not like trying to design a whole new form of government or to rewrite the entire Constitution. And in fact, to change how we elect our representatives would require only small changes in the Constitution. I'm going to try to get you to think about proportional representation. It's not overwhelming. The basic concept is that people vote for a political party instead of an individual candidate. And I'm calling it for the state House of Representatives. If libertarians then would get 15% of the votes, then we would get 15% of the seats in the state House of Representatives. And by the way, constitutional changes are not that difficult. Either they can be put on the ballot by a citizen initiative, or the state legislature can put them on the ballot, and all it takes is a simple majority of the people who show up to vote to pass a constitutional change. The essence of proportional representation, and I'll refer to it as PR, proportional representation, is that every vote counts to help elect a representative instead of our current system where only a majority or perhaps a plurality of the votes get counted towards electing a representative. And before I go further, let me note that there is an organization called Fair Vote that promotes proportional representation for electing legislative bodies, and they maintain a page on their website which is a list of 35 of what they call the most robust democracies in the world. And that means that their criteria are that it's at least 2 million people and that they have high human rights values. And of those 35 countries, the United States is one of only 3 that does not use some form of proportional representation to elect one of their representative bodies at the national level. So this is not some untried, wild thing I've dreamt up. And further, to get you to think about PR, I think it's reasonable to expect me to demonstrate that there's something wrong with the system as it is. And I maintain that our democratic process is broken. 43% of Missourians, if they still bother to vote this year, will show up at the polls and find one name on the ballot for state representative. In 70 of 163 state rep districts, there will be one name on the ballot. In a full third of our state rep districts, the decision will have been made for their state representative without any voter participation whatsoever, even before the primary. And in half of our state senate races, the decision will have been made without any voter participation whatsoever. We can do democracy better than that. Proportional representation, I think, is saleable. It should appeal to Democrats in Cape County and Republicans in St. Louis. And in all these districts where people find that there's kind of no, they never get anything out of voting. There's no point in them voting. Their vote is wasted. And it appeals to third-party people as well. So I think it's saleable, not just for third-party people. Proportional representation makes every vote count. It is not good enough. You want democracy to work, it's not enough just to count every vote. You've got to make every vote count. And that's what proportional representation does. It adds every person's vote to a total that is going to help elect somebody to the State House of Representatives. It doesn't matter how lopsided your political district is. Your vote's going to help elect somebody, and it encourages people, it will encourage people to go out and vote, and to encourage their neighbors to vote and think and talk about politics. You know, we need more gray cells involved in this process. And when you disenfranchise such a huge portion of the population by making their vote not count, it's unproductive. It's destructive of the democratic process. Proportional representation, public school tuition, and deregulation of health care. And those are my songs. Thanks for hearing.